Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. We're glad you're here to learn English with us.
Yes, hello. Thank you for joining. We hope you enjoyed today's story and learned some new words.
I'm Sarah. I work in a small bank, and I love to share real stories with you.
And I'm Alex. I enjoy telling stories too, and I hope this helps you learn English.
Today's story is called The Unexpected Deposit. It's about a person who finds extra money in their bank account by surprise. This story will help you learn new words like deposit, balance, and mistake.
Let's start. One morning, Jenny opened her bank app on her phone. She looked at her balance and saw a number she did not expect. Her balance was $1,000 more than yesterday.
Jenny was sure she did not get any extra money from her job. She checked her messages, but there was no note from her boss. She thought, maybe this is a mistake.
She called her friend Mark and said, "Mark, I have a big surprise. There's extra money in my account." Mark asked, "Really? How much?" Jenny said, $1,000.
Mark said, "That is a lot of money. Are you sure the bank did not move money by error?" Jenny replied, "I think so. I did not sell anything or get a gift."
Jenny felt happy and worried at the same time. She felt happy because $1,000 is a lot of money. She felt worried because she did not know where it came from.
Next, Jenny went to the bank office. She stood in line and waited. When it was her turn, she spoke to a teller. She said, "Hi, I found extra money in my account. Can you check why?"
The teller smiled and typed on the computer. She said, "Yes, I see the deposit. It came from our system by mistake. It was meant for another customer."
Jenny said, "What should I do? I want to keep the money, but I know it is not mine." The teller said, "We will fix it. We will remove the extra money soon."
Jenny felt sad. She asked, "When will you remove it?" The teller said, "Tomorrow morning. Please do not spend it."
Jenny left the bank and walked home. She thought, "I have only one day with this money. What can I learn from this?" She decided to use that day wisely.
First, she made a list of things she could do. She thought about buying a small gift for her mother, but then she decided to save the money. She thought saving is better.
As Jenny walked, she practiced English. She said new words out loud: deposit, balance, mistake, remove. She repeated each word 3 times.
Jenny felt proud. She learned 2 things. Honesty is important, and practicing English every day helps a lot.
What would you do if you found extra money in your account? Think about it and share your answer with a friend.
Let's keep talking about Jenny's choice and what happens next. So after Jenny decided to save the money, she went home and opened her notebook.
In her notebook, she wrote down her goals. She wrote, save for a new phone, pay bills, and emergency fund.
Then Jenny thought about each goal. She asked herself, which goal is most important?
She looked at her bills. She saw she owed $50 for electricity and $30 for water.
Jenny realized paying bills is very important. She could lose power if she did not pay.
Next, she thought about the new phone. She wanted a better camera for pictures of her family.
But the phone cost $300. That was too much right now.
So, Jenny decided to use the extra money to pay her bills and put the rest in her savings jar.
She took $50 and paid the electricity bill online. Then she paid $30 for water.
Now she had $920 left. She put all of it into her savings jar.
Jenny closed the jar and shook it gently. It made a soft clink sound.
While she did this, she practiced English again. She said, goal, bill, pay, jar, clink.
She repeated each word and looked up their meanings in her small dictionary.
Then Jenny sat on her sofa and thought about honesty. She was proud she did the right thing.
She also thought about trust. She trusted the bank and told the truth.
Later that day, Jenny got a phone call from the bank. The teller said, the extra money is gone from your account. Thank you for your honesty.
Jenny smiled and felt relief. She said, "Thank you for calling. I understand."
After the call, Jenny decided to celebrate her honesty. She made a cup of tea and sat by the window.
She watched the sunset and felt calm. She thought, being honest feels good.
Then Jenny wrote one more note in her notebook. Honesty makes me strong. I will always tell the truth.
She closed the notebook and felt happy with her choice.
Now Jenny has two good habits: saving money and telling the truth.
What habits do you want to build? Think about it and practice English by writing your own goals.
Remember the new words: goal, bill, pay, jar, honesty, trust. Try to use them today.
That's our story so far. Let's see what happens to Jenny tomorrow when she visits Mark. The next morning, Jenny woke up early and felt excited to see her friend Mark.
She drank a quick cup of tea and checked her balance one last time.
Then she left her house and walked to Mark's apartment. It was a sunny day.
When Jenny arrived, Mark opened the door and smiled. He said, "Good morning, Jenny. How are you?"
Jenny smiled back. "I'm fine, thank you. Can I come in?"
Mark stepped aside. "Of course. Come in."
Inside, Jenny sat on the sofa and Mark offered her a cup of coffee. She said, "Thank you."
Mark asked, "So, what happened with the unexpected deposit?"
Jenny told the whole story again. She said, "I found $1,000 by mistake. I went to the bank and I returned it. Then I paid my bills and saved the rest."
Mark listened carefully. He nodded. "That was a good choice. You showed honesty and trust."
Jenny looked at him. "Yes, I felt good, but I also learned something else."
Mark leaned forward. "What did you learn?"
Jenny said, "I learned how to set goals. I wrote my goals in my notebook. I paid my bills first. Then I saved."
Mark smiled. "That is very smart. You used the money well."
Jenny felt proud. "Thank you, Mark. I also practiced English when I repeated new words."
Mark said, "Which words did you practice?"
Jenny counted on her fingers. Deposit, balance, mistake, remove, goal, bill, pay, jar, honesty, trust. I also added reflect and celebrate.
Mark raised his eyebrows. "Great. You can say, I reflect on my choices and I celebrate good habits."
Jenny repeated, reflect, celebrate. She smiled.
Then Mark took out his laptop. He said, "Let's write a short paragraph together. This will help your writing too."
Jenny agreed. They opened a document. Mark typed, "Today, I returned the extra money. I paid my bills and saved the rest. I learned about honesty and trust. I reflect on my choice and I celebrate my new habits."
Jenny read it aloud slowly. She said, "Today, I returned the extra money. I paid my bills and saved the rest. I learned about honesty and trust. I reflect on my choice and I celebrate my new habits."
Mark corrected gently. "Good. Just one small change. Say, I reflected on my choice because it already happened."
Jenny nodded. "Okay, I reflected on my choice and I celebrate my new habits."
They read the sentence together a few times.
After writing, Jenny and Mark looked out the window. They saw people walking and birds flying.
Mark said, "Life is full of surprises, like your deposit. But we learn from each day."
Jenny agreed. "Yes, today I learned more than words. I learned about honesty, goals, and friendship."
Mark smiled and said, "I am happy for you, Jenny. You used this surprise to grow."
Jenny felt warm inside. She said, "Thank you, Mark. You helped me too."
They finished their coffee and talked about other simple topics: weather, favorite books, and plans for the weekend.
Jenny practiced more English words: surprise, grow, friendship, paragraph, correct.
They laughed when Jenny mispronounced paragraph, and Mark showed her the correct sound.
In the afternoon, Jenny said, "I must go home now. Thank you for today."
Mark stood and walked her to the door. He said, "You're welcome. You did great."
Jenny stepped outside and took a deep breath of fresh air. She thought, this was a perfect day.
She walked home slowly, smiling and repeating new words in her mind.
And that is the end of our story. The unexpected deposit. Goodbye.